Welcome back. The budget session of the Manipur Assembly commenced on Wednesday. However, the Kuki MLAs have not attended the session despite a personal invite by the Chief Minister. All 10 Kuki lawmakers, including 7 from ruling Bharatiya Janata Party, continue to boycott the Manipur Assembly proceedings for the third time since ethnic violence was triggered in the state in May last year. The Manipur Congress Committee had also urged the government to facilitate the participation of the Kuki MLAs in order to foster peaceful negotiations. Biren Singh commented on the same.
I came to know that some colleagues are taking leave officially. Then that is official, so we have to accept it.
In my previous interview, Biren Singh had said that he would like the Kuki MLAs to attend the session. You have called for a budget session. Are you hopeful that the Kuki MLAs will come? Will you vouch for their security in Imphal?
You see, last time also I requested them through telephone, not officially, but this time I wrote letter personally to them, please to join the assembly, because assembly is everything for us, for a democratic country like India. So I invited them to come because, you know, we are inseparable. All Kukis, Nagas and Meiteis, we are inseparable, you know. But only just our works, our drive is against those illegal immigrants and the drug peddlers. So now we should identify it. My request is to the Kuki brothers, Sin Kuki brothers, Sin sister, please identify it. And I think now one good proposal, reciprocation from the Kuki NP, the apex body of the Kuki NP has come out in the media saying that they are ready to accept the NRC.
Yes.
That was the core issues of the people of the state, and we also. This biometric, why we are doing this biometric deportation, this is all because of the, for the NRC. No?
Biren Singh also welcomed the new Governor of Manipur, Laxman Prasad Acharya, and said that people are very happy with his appointment and hopeful that peace will be restored soon. The Chief Minister also mentioned that he met the Prime Minister and spoke to him about restoring peace in Manipur.
Hi, Honorable Governor, Honorable Governor Laiba Acharya Magishu, Adugi, peace mission Belais, Aduna Adagishu, Senior Singh, Party President Yauna, Honorable PM Yauna, Atumatam, Lamdam Santi and Zelanaba, and Paces Species, Hypertony, Aduga Loinana, economy the Karida Lady, Sotariba Mam, the Sakota Naba Honaba. Adugumbagi to the economy. And the budget is the expect away. Stay that youth empowerment. Pajani Yauri, Karol Mari Mokimaya, the youth sing, job create on Navagi provision Yauri, women's empowerment Yauri, Adugulina infrastructure, the Tain of Pirkazan, infrastructure requires employment Lakadoin is an etagoin. I don't know, positive sign in a Loxia do Quiggy site, Queen Ava unity lacing. Akwai unity later ga de akwai kenok to ponga mo issue do the politics on gumche aduga politics we am from the politics on ba aduga issue based the politics on the ba koi machine punas and minaba I think katang appeal to with the coming of the new governor Acharya ji, the people of Manipur is very happy and very hopeful that peace will be restored at earliest with the coming of the Honorable Governor.
There is a hype also because of visit there in Delhi, because people have a lot of speculations were that you have met the...
No, only for peace.
Okay.
I'm joined by Dr. Thangulal Haukip, Assistant Professor, Center for the Study of Law and Governance, Suhas Chakma, Director, Rights and Risk Analysis Group. In studio with me, Brijesh Pandey. Let me straight away go to Suhas. Suhas, he had a meeting with the Prime Minister. I had the opportunity to interview him. He told me that he has requested the Kuki MLAs, but the breakthrough has not happened. Why?
Well, it will not happen because the way he is simplifying a riot which continued for a year, I mean, this is not the way you can expect the other side to come to any kind of, formal discussion forum. I mean, if the cookies come at this point of time, they shall lose the credibility, they will lose the vote bank. And the only reason why the Chief Minister of Manipur is still insisting on NRC and etc. is because of the fact that he knows that if he cannot bring in NRC, he will lose the election. So he knows that, the number of cookies who have entered from Myanmar, as per the reports of the government of Manipur, is about 4,000, 4,500. Now, don't tell me that these 4,500 people were the main cause for the riots in the state. So look at the way that he was simplifying, and it's a complex problem. The problem started with the declaration or the judgment which came up, asking the Manipur government to consider the Métis as the scheduled tribes, which was unacceptable to the Kukis and other tribes. And I can still tell one thing. If tomorrow the Métis are declared as scheduled tribes, the entire state will be divided between the tribals and non-tribals, meaning the Nagas will also join in. So that's why I think, nobody will come in, and these are just, at this point of time, after a year, I don't think these issues or this kind of appeal, make any sense. It makes no sense.
Okay. Dr. Hauke, despite the request, the MLAs have not come in. How long can MLAs boycott the assembly? I mean to say, you can have your political slugfest with the Chief Minister. Okay. I'll go to Mr. Hauke a little later. A bit of a technical issue. Bijesh, question to you.
Well, it can go on indefinitely, Karthikeyan, because the issue is not about joining the assembly session. The issue is about whether you are able to, or joining the assembly session will result in bringing about any kind of resolution to the conflict at hand. It is not going to do that. And the Kuki MLAs are perfectly aware of it, and that is the reason why, it is pertinent to note that 7 out of 10 are BJP MLAs only. So this means that, not only, I can understand the 3 boycotting, but the 7 who are boycotting are also not confident of their own government about, whether they intend to or they intend well to solve this particular problem. And herein lies the catch. The BJP has not been able to tell its own MLAs belonging to the other ethnicity that we mean business, and we are going, if you attend, we are going to move forward to make sure that they are able to solve the crisis. And that is the reason why they are aware that if they move, they will not only lose, nothing will happen. They will also lose credibility in the eyes of the people. And as a politician, your credibility has to be there for your electorate to trust you. And the divide is deep. No solid action, or I would say solid work has been done on the ground, which would say that the government is making an outreach, saying that you will provide security to the Kuki MLAs, also point to a ghastly situation.
Let me ask this question to you.
That they are not safe on their own.
Let me ask this question to you. Then how come the BJP leaders continues to be invested in him?
Well, because they don't have much of a choice. Because it's not like, M. Biren Singh is a true blue BJP leader. He has come from Congress party. And the fact of the matter is that they know that right now the complexity of the situation is such that they have lost both the Lok Sabha seat, and if they change Biren Singh, they might end up losing the Vidhan Sabha as well. And that is the reason why they know that Biren Singh right now it has been accepted as a kind of a fait accompli by the BJP leadership.
Okay. Now let me, Suhas, let me take you through a development that has taken place in last 48 hours. The Kuki groups, roughly 25 of them, you must have read the report, including UPF and KNO, who are part of the SU agreements. They have issued a joint statement saying that they will ensure that all the poppy cultivation taking place in the areas where cookies are supposed to be staying will be done away with. How do you describe this development? KNO and UPF coming together, Kuki organization, saying that we will ensure that no poppy cultivation is taking place. And they have issued a press release. Can you just contextualize it for our viewers?
Well, I mean, if that's the statement they have made, then it's an acknowledgement of the fact that, poppy cultivations have been going on. But poppy cultivations, whether there is in Manipur or not, I don't think it's an issue in that sense. The challenge doesn't go away, what I mean to say. we have to remember that, poppy cultivation in an illegal way, in a large scale or industrial scale, had taken place in the states where the government authorities. So if you look at Myanmar, Blue Triangle and etc. earlier, I mean, it took place in Myanmar, Thailand, Junction, simply because the state didn't exist, and of course the country was in war.
So has this report was sent to me by a common friend Misao, and he sent me, it's a Deccan Herald report. Let me just read it to you. Kuki insurgents groups in Manipur resolved to take united stand to eliminate opium and drug menace. The resolution to end drug menace is significant as Manipur government as well as the organization representing Meitei community. And the report goes on, and let me just quote it verbatim. It just goes on to say in this report, the United People Front, UPF and Kuki National Organization, KNO, forums of Kuki insurgent groups issued a joint statement seeking cooperation from church bodies, civil society organizations, chief associations and other to act the drug menace, quote unquote, in connection with the onerous but noble endeavor to establish a respectable and healthy environment for a community, cooperation from church bodies, civil society organizations and chief associations and members of public is earnestly sought. The appeal is made to establish a healthy, sound society for our today and future generations to follow. The UPF and KNO has been in suspension of operations agreement with the government since 2008. The groups initially demanded a separate Kuki land and now engaged in several rounds of talks. They now support the demand for a separate administration. Now, the resolution to end the drug menace is significant, keeping in mind the sort of position which the government has taken place. This is what I want to contextualize. Is it a result of a talk that has taken place, or are they doing it themselves? How has this happened, and how do you locate it in a conflict-ridden body?
No, I would say, I think if certain talks are going on, and if the government of India or the interlocutor wanted to elicit some sort of assurance on that issue, I think that could be one of the factors. The second factor would be, if you look at the charged bodies, in the neighboring states of Mizoram, the charge has always been against it. The YMA has always been against it. So it's not a new development. And in fact, if the opium cultivation is taking place in and around Manipur, in the communities, of course, it affects the communities. And I think there is a huge challenge at this point of time, which I was trying to say.
So you're saying, Suhas, it's a real development that has taken place?
Well, it's a real development. At the end of the day, it's a real development.
Okay.
Just the way I think, I was trying to bring another point. I think instead of taking appropriate action against the, chief minister, that the BJP government decided to move out.
Okay, just wait for a minute. Let me just introduce other guest who has just joined me. I'm joined by Nabakishore Singha, National Spokesperson, World Meitei Council. Thank you so much, sir. I was just talking to Mr. Chakma. This report has come out that the 25 Kuki groups have resolved to end poppy cultivation. I was just asking him that, is it a result of some talks that are happening? Is this sort of a voluntary declaration in which UPF and KNO are part? What is happening? Just contextualize for the larger viewers, sir.
I think the first and foremost, the Kuki community or their leaders have been denying this fact, but I think now they have come out that I think this is what they have accepted, right? So I think the root cause is somewhere different, right? I think it is not only that planting the drugs and then the people who are involved, and mainly we have been already knowing this largely this community is involved there, and now due to the disturbance in Manipur, the whole the drug trading routes has been shifted through Mizoram. All this has been available in this all in national media. Now, it is not that they will stop poppy cultivation and then the peace will restore. I don't think that is not the main the root cause. The root cause is somewhere, right? So, if we are thinking about restoration of peace in Manipur, then we have to look into the constitutional parameters, right? And the people who are largely, they have uh, migrant, they have entered from the neighboring countries, and they have settled illegally there, right? And this problem has to be fixed upon first, right? So I don't think just declaring that this community will abstain from the poppy cultivation and then there will be a peace restoration is coming, will take place. I don't think
My
so.
second
This
question
is
to,
not.
okay, my second question to you is before I go back to Suhas and before I go back to Brijesh, the assembly session has started, but the MLAs have not come. You know, there has to be some sort of a mechanism that the MLAs from the tribal hill areas should participate in the assembly session.
Karthikeyan for the first and foremost, when you say that tribal MLAs, in Manipur, these 10 Kuki MLAs, they don't represent solely the tribal MLAs. There are also other tribal MLAs,
Okay,
right? For the
Kuki
Naga
MLAs, let me correct myself, the Kuki MLAs or those who are not from the valley. Okay, let me put it this way, let me put it geographically. Those outside the valley.
Actually, they should be no more MLA. They should have been expelled because this is what we have been demanding. Because the first step itself is unconstitutional. They should have been expelled, right? So now the problem is the Kuki side. What we see is that whatever the organization you say or their apex body, so-called the ITLF, if you see the way they are putting the things, I think that way the peace is not going to come there, right? And the way the center is handling, that is also not going to restore the peace. What about the question about whether the SU agreement, which was expired on 29th of February in 2023, whether that has been in 2024, whether they have been extended or not? It's a silent, right? It's no one is telling. Now, we have been telling that the SU has to be abrogated, right? And then if the SU have been abrogated, then the militants who are misutilizing their the weapons or arms and ammunition, so that has to be first
Okay, that's a hard position. You are saying basically. See, I understand this position, Brijesh. How do you get them back? You can't expel them. They are elected MLAs. They can lose elections.
Well, I think there has to be a approach by the government also, which would instill a sense of confidence in them. You cannot expect them to leave everything, join the assembly. Joining the assembly will be fruitless exercise for the simple reason that then they won't have the backing of the Kuki community. So there is no authorization. They would just be MLAs in the name of MLAs, but they will not be able to get anything done. And the next election, they'll be completely wiped out from the political scenario. So the government also has to ensure that there is a certain degree of outreach and a proper outreach will also instill confidence not only in them but also in the ethnicity, which would make them work it. But when the chief minister says that I guarantee their security, it doesn't portray a very a very in Imphal.
Okay. And Suhas, do you think, before I go back to the issue of the assembly, politically speaking, how are parties placed in Manipur today, keeping in mind Lok Sabha?
Ask me?
Yes. Because ultimately the Lok Sabha election was a surprise, and that Lok Sabha election, imagine the small changes, created such a powerful narrative in Lok Sabha. If you look at the trending speeches, it's Arthur and Bimal's speech which have made the maximum impact. A big political change in Manipur has made a huge impact in Lok Sabha. Just go into the social media accounts and both these gentlemen are trending.
I would say, at this point of time, if elections are held, BJP will lose. And if the elections are held after 6 months or 2 years and 2.5 years down the line in 2027, they will still lose. Simply for one reason. Because people don't want violence. People after a certain point of time want normalcy back. People don't, give up hatred, and they want the process of healing to start. And that healing process cannot start at this point of time without some kind of a practical step wherein the Kuki MLAs and the Meitei
Okay.
groups who are opposing that could be brought in.
Okay,
So
Misao,
because
I just need to go to Misao. Misao also joins me. Misao, today, we exchanged our WhatsApp messages. You send me this report, cookies have resolved to end the poppy cultivation, this report. Can you put it in context, what's happening, these 25 groups? Misao?
Karthikeya, can you please repeat again? I didn't hear the one.
You send me a report, Misao, on 25 cookie groups coming together saying that, they'll go, they'll be working to ensure that the poppy cultivation ends. Can you just contextualize it?
Yeah, that's true. That's true. The organization comes under two umbrellas. One is KNO and the other one is Kuki National Organization and United People's Front. So these groups have issued a stand warning to every individual saying that anyone who is cultivating poppy will be given some kind of punishment, which is nothing but trying to tell everyone not to go with poppy cultivation. And I would tell you, it's not only the PR saying that no individual, no household should engage in poppy cultivation. And then, apart from that, even the church is the largest religious institution in the tribal community.
Okay.
And even the church is, disapproving the poppy cultivation.
Okay, Misal, there was a technical issue getting to you, but thank you so much. But today we really hope that the budget session in Manipur is fruitful. Good discussions take place. Important decisions should take place in Manipur for the benefit of the Manipuri people. This session is important not only for the political process, peace, but also for Manipur, because ultimately that's the seat of democracy, which is the assembly.
इस खेल में अकेला हो